I was such a fan of the books as a kid and as a young teen, and then I sort of fell away from them and just sort of lived off the memories of what it was like to read them all through my 20s and 30s. And then I sort of rediscovered them in my late 30s and read them again, but now with the eyes of somebody that's had to write their own stories and had to make films. And it made me really not only appreciate what was still really great stuff in the books, but also how much needed to be altered or changed or edited in order to not just make a better movie and better story, but to capture the feeling that you get from reading the books. I think that's really more the job of the filmmaker when they're adapting a book. Isn't so much were you incredibly faithful, great if you can be, but what's more important is have you made the audience or the filmgoer feel like what it felt for the reader to read the book. And to me, that's the sign of a good adaptation. How can you sell 9-foot-tall, four-armed, tusked characters and completely buy it, completely accept it? How can you give a multi-legged, lizard-like creature that acts as if it's your pet and can run faster than the Roadrunner in a Warner Brothers film cartoon, and again accept it? Think maybe that really could exist. And I thought that was the way into the film, was not so much just trying to be fantastical. It was actually the other side of it. How can I make you believe that this really is the laws of nature and the rules of reality on another planet? But the nice thing and the comforting thing is that, like I assumed, making movies virtually isn't as different as people think it is from making movies live. Certainly there's a lot of obvious differences, but the fact that you're both trying to make a great image on the screen at the end of the day that captivates you, that moves the story forward, and everything has a reason narratively for being in there, they have no differences. One of the most memorable characters through all the books outside of John Carter is a character named Tars Tarkas, who is the leader of this Green Man tribe. These things are described as anywhere from 9 to 15 feet tall, with tusks and forearms, and it's pretty fantastical. And so one of the first things we attacked on the film was, how do you make them feel believable and not fictitious, not like some little boy fantasy realized, and feel indigenous to the desert, feel just a natural species from this planet. So we actually went and designed and redesigned the physiology of these green men so that they felt similar and familiar to desert-dwelling people of our world. I think the thing that fascinates me the most about the story is it's a stranger in a strange land, and it's a man that suddenly becomes against his choice extraordinary, and it's the analogy of somebody being given gifts, and are you going to use them for the betterment of others, or are you going to keep them to yourself?